Hello, I am Reverend Irene Smith, and I'd like to welcome you to Generationally Speaking. Here at the table, we come and we discuss life issues, no matter what they might be. As we sit at the table with each generation, we all learn, we all grow, we all are inspired.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Generationally Speaking. Hello, welcome to Generationally Speaking. I am Reverend Irene Smith, and I'm so excited that you're here with us on today. It is here at the table of discernment that we sit and we grow together. It is here, generationally speaking, when we hear from the voices of every generation. And in hearing, we grow and we become so much more. We become inspired and informed. And once we get that inspiration with that information, you know what takes place? Transformation. Well, we are excited about what God is doing here at Generationally Speaking. And today, we're going to be talking about all things real estate. And who best to talk to that about other than an awesome real estate agent, someone that I've known for a number of years, someone that I know God has equipped. And first, so let me welcome to my audience, Helena Ashton. And Helena, I always ask my guests to share with my audience those early years. Tell us about those formative years when you were a little girl running around.
When I was a little girl, I was actually a tomboy. I love running and athletic sports and just being outside. I love to cook. I love to dance and create dances. And I was a pretty mature little girl growing up. Tried to follow the rules as best as possible. I wasn't perfect. But that was me. That was me.
All right. So, as a little girl growing up, did you know any real estate agents?
I did not.
Not one.
Not one.
Okay.
Not one. I was more of a hairstylist when I was a little girl. I braided everyone's hair in the neighborhood.
So tell us, how did you decide and make that decision to become a real estate agent, and how long have you been an agent?
I've been a realtor for almost 21 years in November. Actually, my mother and I, we wanted to buy houses, fix them up, and sell them. So we had a bright idea to join a real estate class. Needless to say, it was nothing about buying houses, fixing them up, or selling them. So I said, I think I'm going to try this. I had no plan at all, and I just dove into real estate just like that.
Okay, so being a hairstylist and a realtor, did being a stylist help you when it came to meeting and interacting with your potential clients?
Absolutely. Being a hairstylist, of course, you meet all types of people. You listen well because you have to. Their hair is very important. So that did help me with real estate, being able to actually hear what people are saying and what they're not saying.
Wow. So over the years, being an agent and hearing what people have to say, what are you listening for?
What am I listening for? A lot of times I find that people actually know what they don't want. So I will, ask them to give me, at least 3 things that they actually do want in a home. And once they express that, when we're looking at properties, I notice what additional things that they do like. I can see what they gravitate to, even though they did not verbally say what they wanted in the initial consultation.
So, if here I am, and I'm thinking about, I think I want to buy a property. I think I want to, purchase my first home, my first town home, my first condo. And I really don't know where to start. And I'm so nervous. I don't know, who to call. I'm not sure about, I think I have enough, money, but I'm not sure. So where do I start?
You would start with a loan officer.
Okay.
So I would advise you to either go to your local bank or credit union, and then there are other private businesses that will more than happily help you get a loan. If you didn't want anyone to pull your credit at first, because that is a hard inquiry, you could obtain your 3 credit reports through the annualcreditreport.com for free once a year. Not free annualcredit.com, because that one's not free. And then but you will have to pay for your credit score. But they will give you the credit report for free. You can look at it and see, if you have anything that you need to take care of. And then once you get your credit score, then you can take that information and move forward to a lender.
So when I go to the lender, what are they going to tell me? And how much information do I have to divulge? Because I don't know if I want to share so much information.
Well, this is not the time to be squeamish. You have to share all your information, short of DNA. They want to know what your income is, so that they could qualify you to get the amount of house that you can actually purchase. They are going to look at your credit reports. They're going to verify your employment, your rental history if you're living in an apartment. So everything. They need everything. Bank statements, tax returns, last 2 years of tax returns, last 2 months of bank statements. And those are the things that you need to get started.
And so once I provide all of this information to my lender, what are they going to share back with me?
They're going to give you, they're going to let you know what your purchasing power is, meaning how much house you can afford. They're going to let you know your credit score, which you have 3 credit scores, but they're going to take the middle credit score and go with that. 620 and above is always best for a lender when they're going to loan you money. And they're going to let you know that you can get started on touring homes and what other items, additional items that they may need.
So once the lender tells me, that I'm qualified to purchase a home up to $300,000, and so then I need to contact an agent. So then, what is that interaction about, and what are some of the questions that I should be asking the realtor? And should I just go with the first person, or I don't know? Do I go with someone that somebody recommends? What do I do?
Well, it's always best to go with a referral.
Okay.
Someone that you know, like, and trust. And once they refer you to an agent that worked very well with them, set up an appointment. Buyer's or seller's consultation is very important at first. That way the agent can tell you what you're in store for. You will want an agent that listens well, someone who's going to be available for you, someone who's going to negotiate on your behalf. I would think that you want to be comfortable with that person as well, because real estate is, buying a house and selling a house is not fun. It sounds like it might be fun because you get to look at a few properties, but after 5 or 6, you're discouraged, and you need someone that's going to continue to keep you motivated and just knowledgeable about the entire process, so that in your consultation they let you know what you're about to experience, so that there aren't any surprises during the transaction, because real estate is full of surprises that you're not even looking for. So to try to maintain that as best as possible is, you want an agent that in your consultation you recognize that they are going to keep you on course.
Should I, as a prospective buyer, have a list of what I want in a property? If I want 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, if I want a garage, if I don't want any steps, where I want to live, should I have those things in mind as I meet with an agent?
Absolutely. You would definitely want to just really take a moment and think about the things that you want in your house, because the last thing you want is to get into a mortgage in your home and not be happy with where you live.
You know, coming from now my apartment or living with my mom and my dad and not having to worry about anything, and now I'm purchasing my first home. And I like travel. I like getting my hair done. I like buying some things, some threads. I sort of like that kind of thing, get my nails done. And so now that I'm thinking about buying my first property, have I considered everything when I'm looking at this price of what they say I can purchase?
That is a good question. Of course, you will have to tighten up on the money belt, because life is going to change dramatically, hopefully in a good way. What a lender is looking for is a debt-to-income ratio of 35% or lower of your income per month, your monthly income. So before getting into that, I would sit down and make a list of all of my debt and all of the additional things that I like to spend money on: entertainment, hair, travel, and just really process that number. Because when you sit in front of a lender, he's going to tell you that you, for example, are qualified for $350,000. Well, 35% of that debt of that is $2,100, and you really do not want to go over that amount. If you don't go over that amount, then you'll have at least $3,900 if your income was $6,000 a month.
Okay.
That's the example. If it was $6,000 a month, you'd at least have $3,900 left of your income to do those things that you kind of enjoy. I would not, unless you can afford it, I do not recommend that you go to the max amount that the lender says that you can afford to purchase.
And so in purchasing my first home, like I've never had to worry about a light bill, a water bill. If something happens to the roof, something happens to the refrigerator. So as I'm thinking about those kinds of things, should I consider that as I'm looking at what the lender is telling me my monthly payment will be?
Well, that will be what you use the residual money for.
Okay.
The 21, in that example, that 35% is just your debt.
Okay.
They will factor in what your mortgage payment, and then if you have an automobile or insurance, those types of things. Yes, that addition. So that's why it's important to not go over that income ratio, because you do need money for incidentals, like if your AC were to break,
Okay.
or anything unexpected, because there's always something unexpected. I mean, the minute you move in, no matter how great your home inspection is, something's going to happen, and you would want to have that money at your disposal to be able to use.
So when I'm thinking about my home, and I'm thinking about my expenses, and I hear, the lender is talking, and I'm not processing everything because it just seems like it's so much information coming at me at once. And I hear them talking about mortgage insurance, So is that something additional outside of my mortgage note that I have to be concerned with?
Do you mean hazard insurance when you say mortgage insurance?
I don't know what they're talking about.
Oh, okay. Well, mortgage is made up of four different things. You have your principal, interest, taxes, and insurance.
Okay.
If a bank is going to give you money, you have no option but to get that insurance. They will not allow you to pay that on the side. It has to be part of your mortgage payment. So no, you don't have to think of an additional expense. It will be part of that mortgage payment when they give you the estimate.
We hear a lot as we're watching Home and Garden and all these other shows, and we hear this phrase, location, location, location. What are people talking about when they say location, location, location?
Okay, well, that is an individual preference. Everyone has their own idea of location, whether you want to be a certain amount of miles away from your workplace, your church, your shopping center. That is important. That you don't want to, if you don't want to drive 30 to 40 minutes, 60 minutes into work, then that is when location is really important. Also, your lifestyle, entertainment. If you want to be around more of a vibrant, walkable type of area, then location is important. But it's an individual preference.
Okay. So we hear also a lot of people when they're sharing about when they're going to buy. Some folks say, I'm buying my starter home. Some folks say, I'm buying my forever home. I think when I'm buying my first home, I'm just buying my home. But what is this term? These terminologies, starter home and forever homes.
Okay, starter home is your first home.
Okay.
You want to. I would be safe to say you want to stay within your budget because this is a new experience for you. Maybe you don't want a whole lot of grass because you're not used to cutting grass, and you may not have the budget to pay someone else to cut the grass. A starter home is a place where you're there maybe 5 to 7 years because you are going to outgrow that home. Your forever home, which I really don't think is your forever home, but is the next home. The mindset is, I'm going to get this forever home. And you're probably going to raise your family there or just grow in that home. And it's probably going to be much bigger than your starter home and have a whole lot more room. That's going to be wonderful. But at some point, you get to a certain age where you don't want all those stairs. You don't need all that room. And you want your last home. Then that one will be your forever home.
Okay. People are building financial legacy through the acquisition of properties now. We have a lot of young people who are buying homes, smaller homes, condos and townhomes, and they're renting them out, building that financial legacy. As you interact with these types of persons, what do you say to them when this is not their first home, second home, but they're buying this as an investment property? What are some of the things they should know about investment properties in terms of getting a loan, in terms of their responsibility?
Okay. When purchasing an investment property, your income has to be sufficient enough to cover both the income investment, the investment property, and the property that your primary residence. So even though it is part of your investment, you need to be able to afford both homes because you're going to have to pay a mortgage. Sometimes a renter, if you're renting, may not pay the rent that month. The lender, the mortgage company is definitely going to look at you for that. So just to be able to afford both homes as you're doing that, which is a really great thing if you're in the position to do that.
Now, is that the same consideration if I'm purchasing a vacation home?
Yes.
Okay.
It is the exact same.
All right. So now that a lot of my peers have aged and they've been in their houses for 20 and 30 years, and some have actually paid their homes off, and they realize that it's too much, to worry about, having the grass cut. It's just too much when the snow falls and trying to get, the driveway cleared. It's just too much, and I don't want to be bothered anymore with the upkeep of this larger property. What type of options are out there now for active seniors?
There are active 55 and over active communities where low maintenance is primarily their concern for you as a homeowner. Uh, there are some communities where the homes aren't necessarily less. They may be more expensive, so that's wonderful that you do have a home to sell to be able to move into that community where it is a community where there are multiple restaurants. You have concierge service as far as if you did have a little patch of grass, none of that you have to worry about. They have entertainment, fitness. You wouldn't even have to leave out of that community if you did not want to. But nowadays, in the 21st century, you can just find you a nice rambler, no steps. You can order your groceries. They'll come to your door, and and you will have the resources to hire someone to cut the grass if you choose to have a little tiny bit of yard. Because in the 55 and over communities, you cannot have anyone younger. I think they do make exceptions live with you. Mm-hmm. So some people, they want to be able to have a room available if a grandchild or an adult child comes back home. Okay. Or, even to come back home to take care of you as you're aging.
So we should ask about what are the restrictions when
yes.
we move into these properties.
Yes.
That's great. Mm-hmm. Now, what should I expect from my realtor when what are the expectations of how what they're going to provide to me as a buyer or a seller?
Okay. You want your realtor, again, to be very knowledgeable of the process, efficient. I believe that being proactive in real estate is very, it's fundamental for me because when my client don't have to think, I prefer that. In a good way, that you don't have to think of what's next. I think that the agent should already be letting you know what's next. You want them to be available when you call. They may not answer the phone the first time, but you want them to call you back in a timely manner, to be available to show you properties when you're ready to look at them, and also, again, to negotiate on your behalf.
So if I'm unhappy with my realtor, what should I do first? If I just feel like we're not connecting.
Okay. Well, if you're working with a realtor, you have signed a buyer-broker agreement. Mm-hmm. And I would go to my realtor and have a conversation about what's going on and what you're not really getting from the experience. And, if you have a good realtor, a good person, she, will allow you to leave out of that agreement, but you just have to put it in writing, right, that if you're not happy. But I would think that realtor would know that they're not happy because it's a relationship. And even when you are in a buyer's consultation or a seller's consultation listing, you want a good rapport, and that agent is interviewing you at the same time. And, you just have to be able to mesh. And if it doesn't work, then that person should be mature enough to say, okay, well, we'll just sever.
Okay, so when we're talking to a prospective agent, it's good that we are totally transparent and informative to the agent about what we want, our expectation of what we're looking for, and our expectation of what type of properties they will show us or how they will handle selling our properties. Is it also important for an agent to speak to the seller buyer when what they're asking perhaps is not something that any agent can provide?
Absolutely, or we will all be wasting our time. Flat out, we'll just be wasting our time.
Yeah.
So honesty is expected on both sides of that. Sometimes we want we have champagne taste and beer money, and your agent needs to be able to tell you that, or you will be searching all over the world for something that does not exist.
We just came out of a marketplace where there are multiple offers on properties. We're in a marketplace where you may not be able to ask for seller assistance like we've done in the past. You may have to go up higher. How do you begin to share those types of realities with your client who perhaps is trying to find someone that's going to give them seller assistance, or someone they think they can put in a low bid for some properties?
That one's a different one. Hopefully, you have a good enough relationship with your client where you can say it, and I will say it, but then I think it's best that they see it. And once you've made at least 2 offers, and you see the market is telling you what it wants, after that, being unreasonable is just not an option anymore.